Good morning, everybody. It is me, Medicated here, bringing you a video displaying my Marincess deck profile for the Attribute 4 event. Now, this event has been going on for like 5-6 days now, probably, and I have not started on the PlayStation. I am on my PlayStation account, and I will be displaying my Marincess deck. So what I'll be playing here is one Marincess Mandarin, standard, you have a Link monster on the field, you dump her to the grave, you could activate Mandarin's effect, target that Link monster, get a free special summon, but it banishes when it leaves the field. Not too bad. Double Max Seed, double Ash, one Ghost Bell, your standard hand traps. The most important card in the deck, in my opinion, is the Seahorse. Recycle her from the grave, if possible, every time. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The only exception is when you use her second effect, is when you're able to special summon her from the hand. Well, that is the first effect, actually. You can special summon this card from your hand to a zone of Marincess Link monster points to. You could only special summon Marincess Seahorse once per turn this way. That is really nice because you could just normal summon her, link off into a blue slug, get the Seahorse back to your hand, special summon the Seahorse, link that away into a Sea Angel, and from there, you could grab a Battle Ocean. Or if you already have a Battle Ocean in your hand or on the field, you could get yourself a Dive. I'm so sad this card is limited to 1, but this card would have been the main source of your deck. But since it's limited to 1, I can see why, because they want fair play. This deck is still completely broken, even if Marincess Blue Tang is limited to 1. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can send one Marincess monster from your deck to the graveyard, except itself. I need to drink some water. If this card is sent to the graveyard as material for the link summon of a water monster, you could excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you do, you can add one excavated Marincess card to your hand, and you shuffle the rest back into your deck. Each effect can only be activated once per turn. Recycle this if you can. Best Marincess card in the deck. Scratch that. Main deck. And I'm playing 3 Marincess Pascalis. When you normal or special summon, you could special summon one Marincess monster from your hand in defense position, except itself. During the main phase, except this turn, the card was sent to the graveyard. You could banish this card from your graveyard and basically target a Marincess spell or trap card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Each effect can only be activated once per turn. This is great because you're only running one Marincess Dive and one Marincess Battle Ocean. They need to be recycled as often as possible because there are Lightning Storms, Harpies, Feather Duster, Twin Twisters, and if you just get, what's the card called? I keep forgetting, there's way too many cards. Cosmic Cyclone, there we go. If you get Cosmic Cycloned, you're out of luck actually. So you don't want that to happen to you. But however, if it gets sent to the grave, it's all fair game. Get it back. And it's even better if you get a Shizud and your Battle Ocean or your Dive gets targeted and gets shuffled back into the deck, because you could easily search it back out with Sea Angel, and you run 2 for a reason. Alright, we run 3 Marincess Spring Girl. You could banish 1 Marincess monster from your grave, special summon her. Pretty standard. If it's sent to the graveyard for link summon of a water monster, you can send cards from the top deck to your graveyard equal to the number of Marincess monsters you control. Then then inflict 200 life points damage for each Marincess card sent. Each effect can only be activated once per turn. Every single one of these effects can only be activated once per turn. Let's just put it like that. There'll never be an effect where you can use it twice per turn. Or unlimited. Because that would be super broken and most of these cards would get limited immediately. I'm coughing a lot. That's because I'm medicated. And I'm sorry. This is Marincess Sleepy Maiden. You can target 1 Marincess card you control, special summon it from your hand, and if you do, it gains this effect. While Sleepy Maiden is in the monster zone, the targeted card cannot be destroyed by an opponent's card effects. Nice. Gains a little protection. But most of the time, you're going to be using it as link material, so don't get too used to its protection. Either that, or you're going to be using Sleepy Maiden to use it as bounce back for Argonaut's effect to pop off. That's it for the Marincess monsters. Actually in the main deck. We are running 3 Gamciel, the Sea Turtle Kaiju. This water is amazing. Very standard. I was running 3 Raw Spear mode, but this is attribute 4. You can't run that here. So I went to Lava Golem, and sometimes my opponent would only be having 1 monster on the field, so not as good as Gamciel. Plus it's water. That's it for the monsters. And for the spells. 1 Raigeki, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 1 Foolish Burial, 2 Signet Mining. I was wanting to run 3. If you have the chance to run 3, run 3. I can't run 3. I don't have the diamonds for it. I'm a broke ass bitch and I can't afford that shit. So yeah. 2 Dark Ruler no more. I don't want to run 3 because I'm running 1 Forbidden Droplet. 1 Lightning Storm. 2 Marincess Dive. 3 is a bit too cloggy. You don't want to see it in your opening hand. Because you will not have a you will not have Battle Ocean on the field. Like, probably until later on, deep into your first turn. And by then you would want to grab a dive from an effect. So it makes no sense to have it in your opening hand. It makes no sense to run 3. So 2 is perfect. 1 Marincess Battle Ocean. You don't want to have more than 1. Makes no sense. You can opt to play 2 in case 1 gets banished. However, you don't really need it unless you're building up for Aqua Argonaut. If you can't play into Aqua Argonaut, you don't need Battle Ocean. Battle Ocean is not a necessity. It's really helpful, but that's not where your wins are going to come from. Great Bubble Reef could win a duel just by herself. 3 Book of Eclipse. Really good if your opponent sets up a monster board. Really good in this attribute 4 if you're going up against Furnace Sylph with Dolce. If Tiara Misu comes to the board and is trying to clear your shit, flip the Book of Eclipse before it could get that effect off on summon. Flip that. It's really good against basically everything that spams monsters to the field. One Called by the Grave, needed. One Crossout Designator, needed. And I already just discussed Forbidden Droplet a little bit while going over Dark Ruler No More. And for the traps, 2 Infinite Impermanence and the 1 Marincess Wave. You only play 1 in this deck because you could always recycle it. It's recyclable. You basically have 4 copies or more, probably 5 copies of this card. So you don't really need more than 1. And for the extra deck, the XZs, we are playing 1 Dweller. Shuts down everything that uses the graveyard. We are playing Stealth Kragen. Oops. All face-up monsters on the field become water. That's really good. And it would be even better. It's basically a walking zombie world for water monsters. And you detach a material, destroy a water monster on the field. And you inflict damage equal to half of the attack. And we play 1 Stealth Kragen spawn, just for the added effect of the Stealth Kragen. You could link it away into a Coral Anemone. You could link it away into an Aqua Argonaut, a Great Bubble Reef, a Marbled Rock, and Araya the Water Charmer. I am playing 2 Blue Slugs. If it's Link Summoned, target a Marincess monster in the graveyard, except itself, add it to your hand. But you cannot special summon rest monsters except for water monsters, which all we run is water. So that doesn't do anything to us. Sea Angel, if it's Link Summoned, you can add a Marincess spell from your deck to your hand. You run 2 of them because you get 3 spells to grab. A lot of the times you're not going into the second one. 2 Coral Anemone. A lot of the times you're really not going into the second one. But it's really useful if you don't have access to one, because it's really important. You target 1 monster with 1500 or less attack in your grave, and you special summon it to your zone this card points to. And you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except water monsters, which again, doesn't hurt. If it's sent to the field to the grave, you can target 1 Marincess card in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Nice. Splash Mage. Don't really need to discuss it. Araya, the Water Charmer, Gentle. Don't really need to discuss it. Kragen on the field. Wait. Does it turn? Does Kragen turn? Oh no, it doesn't turn anything into the grave into water. So it's like a budget zombie world for water. Marincess Marbled Rock. Marbled Rock is your secondary option. It is my secondary option. When I do my combo, I only go into Marbled Rock after they destroy my Argonaut. You target one Marincess card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. That effect can only be activated once per turn. Normally, you're going to be grabbing the Marincess Wave. You're always going to be recycling that almost 90 to 100% of the time with Marbled Rock's effect. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can send one Marincess monster from your hand to the graveyard. For that battle, monsters can be destroyed by battle, and you take no battle damage. Really great. But that's not what you're going to use it for, really. You just want to recycle your wave. But that second effect really does come in handy sometimes. Marincess Coral Triangle. You only play one. You send one water monster from your hand to your graveyard, and you add one Marincess trap from your deck to your hand, aka the Marincess Wave. See how this is all coming back to the wave? You gotta do the wave. If only your opponent controls a monster, you can banish this card from the graveyard, special summon water link monsters from your graveyard whose combined link ratings actually equal exactly 3. I cannot read. I don't read my cards. I just play Yu-Gi-Oh! What do I have to say about this? I actually went into that effect in my very first attribute Duel. That really comes in handy because while I had Argonaut on the field, I was able to use this effect and go into Marbled Rock, and then go summon Spring Girl, and then go into the Great Bubble Reef, where my opponent scooped. These two are the boss monsters, Marincess Great Bubble Reef and Marincess Aqua Argonaut, both link 4s. Marincess Bubble Reef is once per turn during each standby phase. You can banish one water monster from your graveyard or face up on the field and draw one card. Each time a monster is banished face up, this card gains 600 attack for each until the end of the turn. Sword Soul Cheng Ying? Who? Cheng Ying who? Yo, Cheng Ying only gains 100 attack for each banished monster on the field. Great Bubble Reef gains 600 attack for each until the end of the turn. Sword Soul will have great problems against the Great Bubble Reef. Sword Soul is a dying deck too. Don't get it twisted. Sword Soul is still great, but it's dying. And it's getting exploited. It's not getting no more support. It's just dying. And then you can send one water monster from your hand to the graveyard, special summon one of your banished Marincess monsters. You can only use this effect of Marincess Great Bubble Reef once per turn. I would say this is kind of better because this could target Aqua Argonaut, which is why I leave Great Bubble Reef as my ace, like the last resort, because Great Bubble Reef will win you games. And the last card on my deck, Marincess Aqua Argonaut. Gotta save the best for last. While this card is in your extra monster zone, your opponent cannot attack any monsters except this one. Yeesh. You can only use each of the following effects of Marincess Aqua Argonaut once per turn. You can target one water monster you control and one card your opponent controls, return them to the hand. Got a nice bounce effect. Too bad it targets. During your opponent's turn, when a spell, a trap, or an effect is activated on the field, this is a quick effect. You can special summon one of your Marincess monster cards that are equipped to it, and if you do, negate the activated effects. So, this is the first time you hear me talk about equipping. So this goes hand in hand with Marincess Battle Ocean. Battle Ocean needs to be on the field if you want Aqua Argonaut to be at full power on summon. It doesn't need to be on the field after, unless you want the attack gain. But either way, the attack gain is nice. It's not necessary, because more likely than not, they are going to find a way to get over this. And you're going to need all your effects. So that's why I only run Battle Ocean at 1. It is specifically for Aqua Argonaut. When you link summon a Marincess monster to the extra monster zone, you can equip up to 3 Marincess link monsters with different names from your graveyard to that link summoned monster. So Aqua Argonaut will always have 3 monsters equipped to it, and it gains 600 attack for each monster equipped, so that's 1800 attack it gains in total. That is about 4200 attack, if I'm not mistaken, 42 to 4300. And with an effect like what it has, good luck getting over it with any attack. You're gonna have to find a way to bounce it back to the extra deck, banish it, or just remove it from the field before your battle phase. And that is my Marincess deck profile for the HP4 event. As you can see, I took apart the Scareclaw deck that I had built so that I can make this Silly Willy deck that I've been wanting to build since it first came out in real life. But now the deck is so shit in real life, take advantage of it in Master Duel while you can. And the difference, let me show you the difference real quick. My regular Marincess deck runs a Ghost Ogre, it runs a Nibiru, and we gotta get this out of here because it does not run this. We gotta get this out of here. I kinda gotta actually fix this deck up, but yeah, I just gotta, what can I do to fix this deck up real quick? Yeah, this is me at work right now fixing up a deck on one of my live recordings. You could skip this part if you want to, because what I'm going to show next is dueling. And so this portion of the video is not really going to be important. I'll play another Infinite, and I do want to play some Gamcio. What can I take out? Oh yeah, get rid of this motherfucker. We don't need this in here. That's just gonna be a brick in our deck. Play another Gamcio. We'll see how this one works in the future. I'll probably take out the Ghost Ogre and add in a third Gamcio. Oh, there. Now, let's get into the replay that I wanted to show. I made it to Platinum 4. I'm a dummy. Match history. Yeah, this was my first game. I wanted to test out the Marincess deck before I presented it to you to see if it worked out the way I wanted it to, and it did. I didn't need to draw into any of the kaijus at that moment. I had everything under control. So here's the thing. I made a mistake on one of the plays. It'll be very noticeable if you know what I mean. I'm not going to mention where, but I'm going to play it at normal speed and I'll explain what's going on. Marincess is very pilot type of a deck, if you know what I mean, but it's really, really good. I would say it's in like tier 1.5 of Yu-Gi-Oh! At the moment. Alright, so he impermed the Pascalis. That's very important because Pascalis is the card that special summons a monster from your hand. You want to negate that, it would have stopped every other play because I would have nothing to play over that way. So the cross-out designator comes into play, banish the imperm, that gets negated, my Pascalis goes off. So I get the Seahorse, Blue Slug, grab the Seahorse back, link away the Pascalis, go into the Sea Angel, grab the Field Spell. Play the Field Spell, link away the two Marincesses, go into the Coral Anemone, use the Coral Anemone, grab the Pascalis, special summon it, link those away, and you'll go into a Coral Triangle. Now from there, I'll pause that. Coral Anemone's effect will pop off, allowing you to add a Marincess from your grave to your hand. I chose Pascalis because that was the only option that I had left. You don't, you never want to target your link monsters. Now, Coral Triangle, you discard the Pascalis, add the wave. Special summon the Seahorse off of its effect, link it away, you got your Aqua Argonaut. Now, the Battle Ocean kicks in, and you target those three exact. The Coral Triangle, the Coral Anemone, and the Blue Slug. You set the wave, and I set a droplet, leaving a Dark Ruler No More in my hand to end my turn. My opponent is playing Tri-Brigade Ancient Warriors. It's a really good deck. I wouldn't say it's good in this format. Like, S'more could come off the ban list, and the only deck that would really prosper from this is Fluandereeze. No, not even Fluandereeze, it would be Lyrilusk. But yeah, he's trying me, so I go into the wave, negate his effects, and my monsters become untouchable. He chain Droplets, so Droplets effect will kick off first, and then I would still be affected. But that's okay. I still have a play. So Seahorse is very important. She's a starter. She's very important. And you'll see why. So, boom. I'll take some damage. And the end phase, Droplet. So you activate Coral's effect. He'll activate his. And I bring back the Coral and the Slug. The Coral's effect pops off. I bring back the Sea Angel. And I bring back a Wave to my hand. Blink those away. And I believe I go into the Aqua Argonaut, since that got bounced back to my hand. And I only bring 2 out. I only needed 2. And you see from here, things get a little bit repetitive. The Slug, the Seahorse. But this is where things go different. Right? So I go into the Sea Angel. I'll grab me a dive. I'll play the dive, and I'll summon the blue tank from my deck. The blue tank from my deck activates, and I will send a Mandarin. Mandarin's effect goes off, I target the Sea Angel and a special summon it. Link all those away, and I go into Marbled Rock. Now, Marbled Rock. Oh, Blue Tang's effect goes off, I forgot about that. But Marbled Rock goes off, I add the dive to my hand. Battle phase, I knock out all his monsters. Main phase 2, I set the dive, I end my turn. This is where my opponent loses. He plays the Tri-Brigade, he banishes for cost, I flip the wave, and the wave will negate the effects, while protecting my Marincess monsters, and he quits. Oh, I thought he quit. I'll activate Marbled Rock's effect, and then I'll take the dive back to my hand. He'll end perm, right? He'll end perm. But I have another way to get that shit to my hand, right? So, I activate Spring Girl, attack that, attack, and then take those away. Get the Great Bulk Relief, activate Spring Girl's effect, you take 200, activate Pascalis, discard, take the dive to my hand, wave to my hand, and I end my turn. Yeah, he had no choice. But that's pretty much what Marincess can do. How it performs against the better decks, I will not know. I will eventually know, but I can only assume that its only real competition would be Machina Vernisylph, because that's actually a pretty spicy deck. Machina Vernisylph or Madolche Vernisylph. I could also see the mirror match being a challenge, and that's pretty much it. If you find yourself playing Evil Swarms are a pretty old deck, but they are anti-meta for what it's worth. The Um, Infestation Pandemic card is, I think it negates all monsters' effects that are on the field. I'm not really sure, and let me look that up right now for you guys before I let you guys go. But I'm pretty sure Evil Swarm is dark, so I don't think you'll be able to use it. Because Infernoids are fire. They're not dark, even though they look like they're dark monsters. We'll type in S-Swarms. Because that's the group they belong in. Oh. That's supposed to be L-Swarm. Yeah, you got Steel Swarm and you got Evil Swarm. Evil Swarm, that's the monster. Evil Swarm will fly in. Level 5 or higher monsters cannot be special summoned. This deck low-key kills Tearlaments. You need 3 of those. I would say two of these. This would be important if no, it's not a quick effect. But this would probably be the Tearlament Killer card right there. If they were to make support for this and add it into Master Duel before they hit Tearlaments, a lot of people will be playing Evil Swarms. That's a guarantee. It's not that expensive to build either. Your ultra rare is Ophion and Ouroboros and Exiton Knight. That's not a lot. Everything else is very cheap and costs not a lot. Infestation Pandemic. This is the coronavirus card. They are unaffected by other spell or trap card effects for this turn and its quick effect. So it gets over in perm just like that. We played 3 of them. Right? You would play 3 Carry Kion, 3 Thunderbird. Those are Steel Swarms. But they have they have big effects. You would play 3 Heliotropes. You would use the Heliotropes and you would play Unexpected Die, getting a free summon off of that. You don't play Golem. You play 3 Castor. You play 3 Mandragora. You play 1 Zahak. You play 1 No Lantern. Oblivious doesn't really help. You can play this at 1 if you just have that random set face down card, you attack into it. Oh, it's an Oblivious. Now your Kit Kalos is negated even in the graveyard. Your T elements is negated even in the graveyard. So that's pretty much it. But that's it for my Marincess, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like and subscribe for my channel. Leave a comment telling me what you think I did wrong with this deck profile, what you think I need to do to improve this deck profile. If the deck profile is bad, let me know. If it's good, if it helps you out, that's great. Please don't be afraid to use this as a guide for your own Marincess build if you can make it better than mine. I appreciate the Marincess love that goes around here in the Yu-Gi-Oh community. Marincess is not really appreciated as much as it should be, for good reason, as there's other better decks out there, but this deck is still viable as one of the cards that you could take to a regionals in real life and go top 16, top 8, top 4, or even win. It has that potential. So that's what I think. Have a blessed day, everyone, and I hope that this deck profile helps you